Hello and namaste to everybody. We have around 7 people right now, and I hope people will join in as we go ahead. But then, since we always try and keep up with the time exactly as much as possible, let's start the webinar. To start with, I just wanted to give a key message that the future belongs to the printers who adapt and innovate in the printing and packaging arena through automation, smarter workflows, and the dedication and the passion that they show in the industry. To talk about all these, the strategic investments that one printer needs to make so that he stands up straight ahead of the race in 2028, we have on the panel Mr. Sachin Kala. Sachin is the director in Ample Graphics based out of Delhi and looks after the sales of equipment and machinery from basically China. This guy has sold over 2,000 machines in the last 10 years, starting from small creasing machines to fully automated corrugation plants. He is basically an MBA in marketing. He started his career like many in the industry in Technova, then switched over to Autoprint and ended up in Vigra APL for a couple of years before he joined Ample. Sachin's main focus is basically to advise how to cut down production cost with automation, and has helped many corporates in their pursuit for excellence. Welcome, Sachin. Welcome to
Thank
the webinar.
you.
The next in line I would like to introduce is Mr. Aaron Alex. He's the Managing Director of Newstech India Private Limited, a 40 plus year legacy enterprise which operates across India and the global south. He has led its transformation from a legacy industrial player into a multi-vertical, high-margin supplier with global ambitions. I find him truly global. I think he's attending from Canada, right, Aaron?
That's right. Yes.
He simultaneously operates Xela, XELA, his venture engine for AI and e-commerce startups, engineered to scale in parallel with Newstech's physical infrastructure and distribution backbone. Welcome, Aaron. Welcome on board.
Thank you. Thank you.
Then you have the one and only lady in our group, that is Mansi Arya. She leads Print 24/7, a purposeful print company working across three verticals: application-based print infrastructure for corporates, tamper-proof degree and marksheet printing for universities with end-to-end data security, and on-demand publishing for books and courseware clients. 9 years in, she remains deeply curious about personalization, variable data printing, and what AI is beginning to make possible. We would be welcoming you onto the stage in a while, Mansi. Welcome aboard.
Thank you so much.
Last but not least is Huma Mahadevia. He is the executive director of Yamir Packaging Private Limited, one of Gujarat's leading premium packaging manufacturers with plants in 3 different locations. He started his journey at the shop floor. Huma built his expertise, sharpening it with specialized training from Germany. Under his leadership, Yamir Packaging has evolved into a technology-driven, full-service packaging partner for clients across industries. Interestingly, this gentleman is a 2-time Ironman finisher and certified Ironman coach. Huma brings the same discipline and strategic thinking for endurance sports into manufacturing leadership. Welcome, Ironman Huma Mahadevia. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Before we talk to this gentleman and the only lady as to what exactly the strategic investment should be, I did a small study on our own as to what exactly should be the 5 investments that every print company must consider before 2028. Of course, we will have the views from these gentlemen and the lady about all this, but then the 5 things that basically we found out from the survey that we did for around 225 of our subscribers from all across the Indian subcontinent. The first one which came out was workflow automation and MIS or ERP as they call it. Examples include systems like Print MIS, Enterprise Resource Planning ERP, tools tailored for the printing industry. It has to be implemented by 2028 if you haven't done now, up till now. The second important thing was the capability for a printer to upstage into the digital platform. that is digital printing capabilities, have to be accommodated by each printer by the 2028. This has become essential for short runs and personalization. Third important point that we were able to get through the survey that it was the entry into packaging and labels with automation is a huge advantage for a commercial printer of today. Commercial is waning, the runs are decreasing, the margins are all squeezed in. So the point that the survey tried to find out was how to elevate the currently suffering printer onto the printing bandwagon, which is not an easy thing. A commercial printer to get into packaging labeling is an effort in itself. But with automation, the keyword into packaging segments like folding cartons, pressure sensitive labels are growing much faster than other divisions of the printing industry, for example, commercial printing. The fourth important point that we could take out from the survey was the sustainability and energy efficient technologies needs to be included into your printing workflow, your shop floor. Examples include using LED UV, printing and environmentally responsible materials, so on and so forth. I know LED is a little controversial, but having said that, the survey did say that we need to get into things which are more sustainable and energy efficient. Fifth, which came last to us, but one of the participants will prove that it is to be the first, the workforce skills and trainings. Investing in people is as important as investing in machines. So true. It is the people who run the show. It is the machine man. Even if the machine is highly automated, the best results are taken out by skilled labor. It is a problem in India to get skilled labor. But having said that, automation is a solution for that, which assists the printer, even if it's mediocre, to get onto the higher band. Now coming to the point, we will talk to our friends from the industry whom I introduced a while back as to what exactly should the printing industry do in order to get to the the strategies one should adopt and get. What happened? I'm missing something. Am I frozen or am I audible to everybody?
Yeah.
Yes, you are audible.
Right. Vyumaji, I will start with you.
Okay, sir.
So what according to you is the most important strategic investment a printer should make in order to sail through the present, or for the how can he become future ready?
I think apart from all the machines and various machines you can do, the biggest strategic investment you can make is in people. And when I mean people, I don't mean the top guys. I mean your operators, your feedermen, your supervisors. I think they are the most critical people in where you need to make an investment. See, what happens is I mean, when I buy a press, I mean, the press is costing north of anything. A brand new 6-color coater would be anything north of 12 crores or more. What happens then? You hire people and then it's forgotten. The people run the show. But first of all, are they, I mean, how much resources do you spend to train them? I mean, they are the real drivers of your machine. Every percentage of wastage saved, every OEE improved of your machine. Let's say you are doing 20 lakh sheets per month. Instead, if you manage to do 25 lakh, 30 lakh, 35 lakhs. I mean, we managed to pull off last December more than 40 lakh sheets on the press. Now, imagine the returns for the same amount of investment made. Imagine the wastages, even if you save like 1% wastage, how much does that mean? And people don't look at that. And for that, you need to train your people. You need to invest in your people and you need to connect with your people. People are like, most of you would not even know the name of your feederman or of your printer. The managers talk to you who don't have the real context. Maybe somewhere those gap needs to be bridged. For us, we apart from we train our team from the feederman to the printer, supervisor, the managers, even the quality team are given basic machine training. That is when they all can, because everyone sees it from a very, very different perspective. The quality guy would see it from a different perspective. The plant head would see it from a different perspective, and so would a feeder man. And I think that is very important. That's how you can really get your numbers up. That's how you can get your quality up. That's how you can get your returns better, because you are not on the press. You are in your office, maybe with your clients, and I'm sure that's what you should be doing. But that's where somewhere investing into that is more important. I think that is the biggest investment.
Oh, good answer, sir. So what you contended was to have the machine man, the feeder man, also to be a part of the mainstream of the company, to train them in order that they are able to perform better on the already excellent machines. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, exactly. And the training has to be given by the OEMs.
Original equipment manufacturers.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, they understand the machine. They know the do's and don'ts. They know the best practices. They have been making those machines. When they come in and teach, and when you implement that with your own experience and everything, I think the whole game changes.
True. Which areas would be important while making a decision on investment? Cost saving, return on investment, or sales growth, Yuma?
That would completely depend on which where you are in the business cycle. Like everyone would be different, right? Someone who has just put up a new capacity, for them it would be to fill the capacity first. So then they will have to focus on sales, right? So someone who is really struggling with numbers, or maybe their specifically cost. I mean, in India, specifically in packaging, the cost of equipment is very high. And your fixed costs are very high. So if you are looking at it, then again you need to make investment which is going to reduce your cost, and which is that part becomes very, very important. Also, it depends. Like if you are really struggling to get your sales, then maybe an addition of an feature. Let's say in carton you don't have a foiling equipment, and you get a foiling equipment. It does work. Similarly, someone who is it all also depends on what your customers are needing more and more. The more you understand that, that's where your investment should be. It should not be only cost based, or only profit based, or only sales based, or only adding capacity. It has to be strategic. You need to think. If you are just adding up capacity, it's not going to work.
Your 2 cents on AI influence on strategic investments, sir?
I mean, AI is the buzzword today. But I think the biggest thing what AI is doing today is it is making your decisions less wrong. I mean, if you look at your earlier days, what you would do is you would go to some trade show, like most probably it would be Drupa. You go to Drupa, and you look at the machine demos, talk to the people over there, get the brochure, do a 5-6 point comparison, sign the deal, get the machine. Today, the same thing. Before you go to Drupa, you could study all the equipment which is there, all the features, maybe look it up with your jobs, which kind of jobs you are, which kind of jobs are you expecting, how much would be the output you can do, and whole analysis with basic LLMs. I mean, I'm not even talking higher models, I'm talking basic LLMs. You can do all this part. And then when you get the machine, the chances of your getting that machine is much less. Your chances of being wrong in that purchase is much less. You will not overestimate or underestimate the machine. You will rightly estimate its capability, and based on that, you can calculate your ROIs. Similarly, for example, we do work for Colgate-Palmolive, and if I have to add capacity, then the first thing, maybe one more area which I would do is look at how Colgate Palmolive's demand is going to change in the future, and that I can look up for from how it is doing in developed countries. We are not the first in most of the cases, so we can look at where the demand is increasing worldwide. Similarly, which technologies are coming up, how their automation is changing. I mean, just for example, most of the Indian FMCGs, they do their online packing at the speed of 80 to 150 cartons per minute. For
Okay.
Colgate Palmolive, they do it at 750 cartons a minute. That is faster than an AK-47 firing
47.
bullet. Right. So now if you want to do something like this is the next benchmark speed. If you want to do for such companies who are going to increase their speed of packing, you need maybe a machine which has those kind of precisions, which can cater to this kind of thing. So all this AI will be able to give you. I'm just giving an example or two, but this is how AI is going to give you a lot of insights into what your next investment should be, and that's how AI is changing. And the worst part is you will not make a wrong decision, or at least the chances of you making those decisions will be very, very less.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much, Huma, for the insights that you have given.
Thank you.
Let me next talk to Aaron. Aaron, get ready. What are you seeing locally and internationally as some of the breakthrough sustainability focused and energy efficient production technology in the print and packaging era? What can the Indian market adopt? Your views, please.
That's a very good question, Jacob. And again, now to kind of recommend what we can adopt and what we're seeing, we have to really break it down to what environment we're in today.
Yeah.
We're in an environment where there is massive technological change. I know, like Huma mentioned, AI is the buzzword of the day. It has its benefits, but it comes with some caveats. I can get deeper into that. Also, we're in an environment where we are seeing a lot of regulatory change, and regulatory change driven about by sustainability. So I would say those are the two pillars really that is driving the technological kind of evolution in our industry. Now, if you want to break it down further into key areas, now AI. Again, AI, one use case is definitely research. But again, with that, there's a caveat. And now, just to give you some background reference, I had the honor of being yesterday invited to TED, which is a global conference for a lot of creatives, AI people, so on and so forth. And there were a lot of discussions going around AI. One of the big things to note, right, is that we have to take what we get from our just chatbot LLMs, right, first, with a pinch of salt. Now, from the developer's perspective, you should never take it as gospel truth because these LLMs are hallucination prone and sometimes they're programmed with a reinforcement loop, right? So you keep saying something, it'll keep to be nice to you, it'll keep saying something better. It kind of, builds up that kind of attraction and it gets into hallucination. Now, this is a fundamental problem that LLM researchers are fixing. But yes, research is one big area. Using LLM for research, obviously cross-referenced, is really good. Breaking it down specifically to our industry now, where AI has actually integrated itself, what we are seeing. Now, AI has really shown its power in the QC process, right? It is a very kind of a manual and mechanical process right now, but we've seen technologies and we're working closely with technologies which completely leverage AI to give you a holistic picture of even the most minute variations at those speeds, if it's an inline machine or offline machine for more depth. So that is one of the big areas of seeing AI entering. That's a QC arena. The second thing, I take it back to your point, Jacob, on energy optimization, sustainability, right? LED curing. Now, this is again an area we work very closely with. Now, it's beyond just, where the technology is today. It's beyond just, LED saves money. So AI has found its way into that arena as well. We now have hyper intelligent systems, software-based, AI-based, that can actually integrate into your UV curing unit and tell the lamp or the LED, whatsoever it may be, right, what the percentage of power is needed for a particular print. So rather than blasting it at 100% or like, andaze say, as you would say, it is highly kind of tailored to the print product. So that is another area where AI has integrated itself, and another big area for sustainability also, because you're using less energy, obviously saving cost as well. So those are two areas that it's actually physically integrated in already. On the newspaper side of things, I don't know how relevant that is to our crowd, but also it's a subset of print. So over there, what we're seeing AI do is it's integrated itself into monetization of e-content to kind of make highly accurate, highly tailor-made decisions on what is the best monetization approach for each reader for an article. Those are three areas. And yeah, another thing that we're seeing generally overall is just a very deep focus on sustainability. It's a need of the hour. It is, I mean, if you look around us, we're seeing what the effect of our activities on our planet are, and people are becoming more aware, right? So really, as an investment, I would say invest also in the idea of sustainability, right? Do your research, look at the cost parameters, and you might surprisingly find sometimes that sustainability can actually help you reduce cost, right? When you get into that kind of a saving. So yeah, those are a couple of areas that I would find interesting to look at.
Oh, and what about the automation investments large packaging firms should consider in the coming couple of years? How this will help them realize their goals?
Absolutely. Now, when
Automation.
you're talking about large packaging firms, we've had the distinct privilege of working with quite a few of them over our many years in business. And one of the most important things is when you're in a hyper competitive market environment, which is the packaging arena in India, right? You're looking at the amount of CAGR in double digits. You're looking at the amount of packaging companies coming up in all like tier B kind of areas. A hyper competitive environment, there's always going to be cost pressures. Now, when there's always cost pressures, you always have to have your eye on the ball, unit metrics. Very, very important, right? Optimize your unit metrics. Automation plays a big part in that. One of the big areas I see is obviously like making sure that your materials handling processes are perfect, automated, right? One of the big subsets of that is your inking delivery automation, right? Of course, ink along with your paper wastage are the biggest drivers of the input cost. So we have these interesting new developments in the ink flow arena, wherein now we have very credible UE based pumping systems. Again, machine vision AI controlled flow meters to measure your usage, and so on and so forth. So yes, I would definitely say invest in automation as far as material handling is concerned. It would help you use every single drop of ink and avoid even that little bit of stuff that doesn't get scraped out on the side, which is important, from a wastage perspective, because that at the end of the year ends up in definitely a certain amount of money.
In India, we have certain dependence on manual labor. I'm sure you also know about it. How do you see the technologies of today impacting our reliance on physical workers? Will it affect them? Will they put them into trouble? More trouble? What is your view on it?
It's a very interesting question, especially coming out of yesterday's conference. These guys brought in 2 humanoid robots to TED. Now, these humanoid robots were really interesting, right? They're shaped like humans. They have a skull. They have arms. They're like fully capable of understanding instructions, fairly complex instructions at that, right? And these things, believe me, are going to be mass produced at some time in China or wherever. And they're going to flood the market, right? It's going to become as common as a smartphone at some point in time. I'm not saying that's the next 5 years, 10 years. But, as, again, competitive market pressures take effect, you'll find more and more players in that market of humanoid robotics. You're going to find costs come down. Obviously, when it becomes mass implemented, you're going to see factories of the future, which are IoT-enabled factories, right, that have these autonomous workers working. Now, where does the human come into it? Now, this is a very important part of probably the next 10 years, right? It's not going to be the next 1 or 2 years is AI and QC and those kind of things where it's just starting. But next 10 years, you're going to have a largely automated workforce where the humans come in as what we call in AI the oracle loop, right? Now, no AI is immune to kind of bias and things like that. So you always need a human operator at the end of it to kind of, for key critical kind of outputs, check and co-verify how that has been arrived and derived. So I think that is a big area to upskill our people and already get them behind the ball of saying that, hey, first and foremost, don't blindly believe in what AI says. Don't take it as the gospel truth. Take it with a pinch of salt. Right? And secondly, when you're optimizing your activity using LLMs, these are some basic ways that I would go about. So what I do with my staff is I give them a list of prompts. Like, if you want to reply to a little bit of a hard customer email, right? Give your LLM this kind of a prompt. Use these keywords, right? So we train them on how to get the most out of their LLM, basically.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much, Arun, for your expert comments on
Pleasure.
the questions that I asked. I have now next a small poll for people who are listening, and I think there are around 19 to 20 people presently. So the poll is to know as to which segment of the industry do the people who are. Is there a poll on your screen right now?
I unfortunately don't see one.
No. What about others?
Nope, I don't see one as well.
No. Poll?
It is under polls.
Polls, yes, it is under polls, right. So all the people who are there, if you could just go to the poll and vote it out. Yes, we started getting good. Yeah, good enough. So meanwhile, as you go ahead with the polling, I would like the next speaker, that is Miss Mansi, to talk about a few questions that I have in my mind. And that is, what is the biggest shift in she is a digital printer, so the questions that I ask would also pertain to the digital arena. What is the biggest shift in the customer demands that printers must prepare for by 2028? Can you please give your expert thoughts, please, Mansi?
Yes, so I would say that the shift is not in what people want printed, it's how they expect to receive it, and how little patience they have for anything that slows that down. We are moving from a planning economy to a response economy, right? Earlier, a brand would forecast demand, print in bulk, and then distribute over months. And that model is, breaking down. India's e-commerce industry, I was just running some numbers, is at $129 billion today, and it's headed to almost a $650 billion market by 2034. Now, quick commerce, on top of that, has compressed delivery expectations from days to hours, and if you're in the Blinkit and Swiggy, zone, then 2 minutes. And that impatience, travels upstream to every vendor, including us as the printer community. And we see it every day as a digital printer. A publisher today no longer wants to estimate how many books, will sell in 6 months. They want a printer, they want only those numbers to be printed that have actually been ordered. And a corporate does not want to warehouse stationery across 40 branches. They want employees to order directly and receive it fast. So I think that printers who will survive 2028 won't be the ones with, the biggest presses. And I'm not saying that's not an investment to make, but they'll also be the ones who will have built systems for flexibility, for speed, for visibility, and made themselves genuinely easy to work with.
Wonderful. What about the biggest risk that you consider the print business will make a print business irrelevant in the next 5 years?
I actually, like I said before, I love that question because there's also an ongoing debate about, whether print will eventually die. And the biggest risk is not new technology, but it's inertia. And most businesses, like our dear friend on the panel, Arun also pointed out, and you also said, is that we're kind of built around manual coordination, bulk assumptions, and reactive execution. That worked when clients operated that way. It does not work like that anymore. Today, a client, all of us, we track our Zomato and Swiggy orders in real time. We approve payments on the phone. And then, if we expect our, customer to call a printer and say, okay, I've sent a file, I'm going to wait end of the week. That does not happen. That gap is only widening. And the risk is not being disrupted by a competitor. It's just being difficult to work with. And as a business, as Prince 24/7, when we understood this, we stopped asking, how can we print better? And we started asking, how do we become easier to work with? And we realized that, the inefficiencies are not on the shop floor. They are the gaps between people, processes, and systems. So those gaps will actually determine who will be standing in 2028. The businesses that will involve, the printers that will evolve, are the ones that will kind of see this through, I think.
Good enough. So all the printer brothers right there should evolve themselves into what Mansi has been talking about. By the way, Mansi, how important is data becoming in running a modern printing press? And what about the data security? Anything on this?
Yes, absolutely. So data and data security is becoming is becoming the difference between a business that reacts and the one that anticipates. Now, every job actually, essentially, if you look at it from a customer's angle, carries information, right? When it's ordered, and it would, a lot of times, if you're specifically, for example, into variable data printing, then what you're handling is name certificates or personalized welcome kits or business cards for 20,000 employees. Now that is sensitive personal data. Now in India, under the DBDP Act 2023, it is a legal responsibility, which penalties up to 250 crore rupees per instance. Now, the enforcement deadline I know is 2027, and it sounds far, but it isn't. Large corporates and institutions will require compliance documentation systems from vendors before they vet them. And now, going forward, RFQs will ask for it. The procurement checklist will require it. So, printers who've not, actually had compliant workflows until now will simply not make it to that shopping. So we design workflows around data minimization, purpose limitation, secure handling. But compliance now becomes, I think, a differentiator more than ever. And there is no running away from it. It's becoming something that we will have to survive on going forward. So
Okay.
absolutely necessary.
Okay, compliance, the data security compliance by 2027 is going to be अनिवार्य, जिसे हिंदी में कहते हैं, right?
Correct.
Are digital printing and POD just capabilities, or did they fundamentally change how a print business should be structured? As a digital printer, you should be able to probably guide us through.
So I think they fundamentally change everything.
Okay.
Traditional businesses, were built only around capacity. Machine maximum utilization, driving efficiency at scale. But I think print-on-demand businesses are built around responsiveness. How quickly and accurately can I fulfill, an order that came through? Those are not same businesses. They don't share the same operation or the same pricing model or the same client relationships. India's print-on-demand market is only growing, right? And we see sophisticated inkjet and laser tech that's coming in. But that growth is also not coming only from printers who added, a digital press next to their offset press and say, okay, now we also do POD. It's coming from businesses that have restructured that model, like you said. And POD will define how we acquire clients, how we price, how we eliminate inventory, how we directly, reach out to end users. So we don't print in store, we print only that's confirmed demand. And every single decision, changes cash flow, changes your client relationship and relevance. So absolutely, that's a different kind of restructuring we are talking about.
Thank you very much, Mansi. That's been interesting. I go back to Humaji. How much, you are a very old printer, old in the sense you have been there in the industry for quite a while and have been catering to some very big MNCs. How much of automation have you undertaken over the last 10 years, and what benefits have you derived out of it? Could you quantify in any terms, Huma?
So the biggest thing we did was when we just put up the Kadi plant 3 years back, we invested into a blanker. and that too from Bosch Novacut with blanking, full blanking. And now when we see that is our biggest workhorse today. About 90% of our jobs are being, the stripping is done online. And in about close to 45% of the jobs, we are doing blanking online. So directly we are getting the blanks out of die cutting. No manual labor is used over there. And currently we have, most of the India has this labor crisis where people are going back because of this war and LPG reason. We are not affected that much because most of it comes out from blanking, so there is nothing left to do. So the place where maximum labor is being utilized is done by automation, and that is where the whole scenario changes. Otherwise, we would have been down by at least 20% every month on month, just because of this. But since we were able to do all the blanking and stripping online, and we were already doing it, we didn't face it that much.
That much. Okay. So now here comes the important automation stuff. Sachin is basically helping corporates on automation, and he has very many different views on it. Sachin ji, let's start with the production environment. How much automation is a necessity to a printer to survive? जैसे अभी ब्लैंकिंग के बारे में बोल रहे थे ह्यूमा जी, वो तो कहते हैं कि उनका मतलब लेबर शॉर्टेज, कोविड के दौरान, अभी एलपीजी क्राइसिस, इन सब में मेरे हिसाब से एंटायर कंट्री में लेबर तो इफेक्ट हुई है, इफ नॉट एनीबडी एल्स. तो उसमें ऑटोमेशन से उनको फायदा हुआ. अब ये तो हुआ 100-150 करोड़ रुपए की कंपनी है ह्यूमा की, वो बॉब्स का लगा सकते हैं और उन्होंने लगाया ब्लैंकिंग और उससे उन्होंने फायदा उठाया. इफ वी टॉक अबाउट एमएसएमई, छोटे जो 10 से 50 वाले लोग हैं, करोड़ वाले, उनके लिए ऑटोमेशन कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है, किस तरह से कर सकते हैं? लेबर और स्किल्ड लेबर आज की डेट में बिग चैलेंज है. क्या ऑटोमेशन एक सेवियर है? इज इट अ सेवियर? I want to hear from you, sir.
Thank you, Jacob ji. Just Uma sir ne kaha, automation is only for the survival. Otherwise, labor problem, everything is there. But the main challenge in the print and packaging industries, there was a number of process. It's not only one process. And one process to another process, like sir says, die cutting is a process. Then again comes the manual process, is the blanking and stripping. He studied on that and he worked out and he come out from that problem 3 years ago. Still, so many people are not focusing on that. So they cut the 50,000, 60,000 sheet in a day. But cleaning of the carton is the challenge. Am I right, sir?
Huma ji?
Yeah.
Huma ji, am I right, sir?
Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah.
Perfectly right.
And in this area, every process has to be synchronized with what you need for the another process. Like if you are doing the printing, after that either it will go in the lamination, it will go the die cutting, whether that speed is match or not. Same like die cutting, if you do, then it will go in the folder gluer, but bottleneck is the stripping and blanking. And some of the carton will be the stripping, some of the carton is you need a blanking, some of the carton maybe 3-ply or something, or duplex, or some will go without cutting on, maybe not on folder gluer. So that you have to adjust, and accordingly you have to decide what automatic machine you need for that. The small industries is the big challenge. All process they cannot do in the one phase. Like he can invest in the all machine in the one shot, but maybe there were the 7 process, 8 process, he will do the one process in one time, second process in that time, third process is another time. So he do like that. And the MSME segment start to focus on the big challenge, and first they invest in the printing machines. Yeah, I need a best to best printing machine. If you must have the 15,000 speed machine, I need also that. But sorry, sir, I'm directly quoting you.
No
But
worries.
whether he can produce the carton of 15,000 sheets per day with other process or not. If we not consider, then it's a survival is a different. So automation in this industry is not only particular process, it is the process synchronization with the all problem. Once you enter the paper and deliver to the box, book, whatever it is, it has to be the synchronized. Then only you can survive. If you not going that, then issue is the consistency. Issue is the skilled manpower, which sir is already addressed. And second, cost of operation and cost of living is increasing day by day. To compensate that, you need to work out on the volume. Fortunately, India has the one biggest population. So FMCG and food industries is growing very fast. So volume is not a big challenge in this industries if you work on that. So, and another segment, I'm not saying particular digital and all that, packaging segment, you no need to sell your product in the market. No need to set up the seller. Your product is selling by another person. आपका प्रोडक्ट बेचने के लिए कोई दूसरा काम कर रहा है.
मतलब कोलगेट का अगर पेस्ट है तो वो बेस तो कोलगेट रहा है.
आपको सिर्फ इतना सा फोकस करना है कि कोलगेट का मटेरियल मार्केट में पहुंचने से आपके डिब्बे के कारण ना रुके. अगर वो रुक रहा है तो उसी दिन आपके दूसरे सप्लायर के वेंडर रजिस्ट्रेशन दूसरे अपने कंपटीटर का साइन हो रहा है. So that you have to focus on that. So अगर वो volume is not a problem, then you have to supply on time.
आप सिंक्रोनाइजेशन की बात कर रहे थे, तो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली डज इट मीन? जैसे कि प्रिंटिंग प्रेस 15,000 पर घंटे के शीट अगर निकालता है, तो इक्वली इम्पोर्टेंट है कि लैमिनेशन मशीन भी उसको मैच करे, और जो लैमिनेशन मशीन मैच करेगा तो डाई कटिंग भी, ब्लैंकिंग भी और पेस्टिंग भी. दैट्स व्हाट आई मीन, राइट?
Not like as, because हर प्रिंटिंग शीट आपकी लेमिनेशन पे जाएगी, इट इज नॉट फैक्ट.
ठीक है.
सेकंड, हर प्लेन पेपर ही प्रिंटिंग होगा वो भी जरूरी नहीं है. इन पैकेजिंग लैमिनेटेड शीट आल्सो गो इन द प्रिंटिंग. And there are some under printing is also there. There was the over print is also there. As per your workflow, you have to decide on that.
That I think that is where consultants come into play, right?
That suppose 50% आपका lamination है, 60% आप 30% आपका UV coating है, 20% आपका varnish है. Whatever is there, accordingly वो आपकी process fulfill होना चाहिए. Before, just I want to quote one example.
हाँ जी, बोलिए.
Before webinar, one call I got from. He took the one flute laminator. Speed is the 18,000 sheets per day, per hour. The speed is the machine speed is the 18,000 per hour is the mechanical speed. He says I'm getting the 50,000 sheets in a day.
In a day.
Yeah. Where's the bottleneck? I don't know. This is the normal.
So what do you think it is, the bottleneck?
They simply say at some point either machine is not capable, or if machine is capable, so say about the feeding and delivery. If your person is not able to take out the material from the machine, or not able to feed that machine, then what is the fun of that speed?
Sachin ji, sorry, can I interrupt you? So here in this case, when this guy is telling he is 50,000 sheets he is able to take out, whereas his machine speed is 18,000. So, I mean, for a corrugation person, we are talking about on a 1 by 1 pallet, we have close to 300, 400 sheets.
Yeah.
So the number of pallets required on the floor is so large, and when you don't have the logistics, it could be manual, that's fine. But when you don't have the space assigned, when you don't have the pathway assigned, when you don't have the logistics ready, even then your machine is not going to give that output.
Yes.
And that is where again investing in people would become important, because then the people will tell you the bottlenecks, and then you can use your own knowledge and experience to solve those issues.
Yes,
Ajit.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's why I'm saying if movement is not possible, because pallet cannot be the more than 300 or 400 sheets. You need a number of pallets. You need to space all same. Immediately you have to send the another process like die cutting or whatever is there. If that is not matched, that's why I'm saying feeding the material and take out the material. If not matched,
Finished product.
then your speed will be, you will not get the desired production what you have invested in that machine.
सचिन जी, इसके बीच में एक और चीज मेरे को याद आया. While we were speaking before the webinar, there was a comment from you which you said that चाइना से मैं मशीन बेचता हूं, तो चाइनीज सस्ता मशीन नहीं बेचते. ऐसा ही बोला था आपने?
नहीं नहीं, मैं चाइनीज मशीन सस्ता नहीं बेचते. मैं एक जनरल बात बता रहा था. आई वाज सिटिंग विद द चाइनीज सम पीपल. हम द डिफरेंस बिटवीन अस एंड यू पर्टिकुलर,
You're talking about China and India.
हाँ,
Okay.
आप लोग सस्ता बेचते हो, हम लोग सस्ता बनाते हैं.
Okay.
हम लोग सस्ता बनाते हैं, नॉट पर्टिकुलर एक मशीन इंडस्ट्री और समथिंग इंडस्ट्री. आप ये दैट वाज द सिंपल थिंग कि आप कस्टमर इज आस्किंग टू रिड्यूस द कॉस्ट. ओके यार, आई एम रिड्यूसिंग विद आइदर, बिकॉज रॉ मटेरियल यू कैन नॉट रिड्यूस, quality you cannot process, you cannot reduce power, labor, you cannot reduce anywhere. So you will reduce with your margin or your bottom. This is, we work out on the process. Like I was in one rigid box making factory. Rigid box they are making. Last week I was there. That machine speed is the 60 pieces per minute. In India, the same machine, when we install the machine, because rigid box you cannot sell that just only top and bottom. There was so many fitment inside. Either we do the offline here, or someone will do the inline. So they are putting the inline by manually. There were the 6-7 people are sitting there. They are putting the fitments like EVA sheet, yeah, whatever is there. They are putting inline on that. And one person average they cannot put more than 1,000 or 1,200 pieces per hour. Even the efficiency will not be the same throughout the day. Vis-a-vis your machine capacity is the 3,600, which divided in the two line, it means is the 1,800 boxes per hour. So you will compromise with the machine speed. Your investment is same. आप हंसेंगे जो उसने मेरे को एक एग्जांपल दिया. He says कि when 6 persons are sitting there, even in China, all will not go in the washroom in the same time. Average one person is going on the washroom is the 3 times in a day. That level of the studies are doing 3 times in a day, and the 18 time machine is stopped because one person go, entire line will stop. 18 time machine will stop in a 1 day shift, and average time they are taking around the 4 minutes. They are staying on that level. So 72 minutes, approximately 1.25 hours, you will waste only for that, which come around 15 or 16% productivity. Due
So
to
what
that,
is the solution? So what is the solution to it, sir?
so if you are, I'm saying if really I need a 1,800 piece, so either entire line has to be the synchronized.
Okay.
Entire line has to be the synchronized. If my machine capacity is there, we have to put them. Yes, I can produce here the 1,800, here also in the that. तो आपने जो पॉइंट पूछा ना कि वो सस्ता बेचना है, तो मैंने वो बताया कि वो इस लेवल की स्टडी करते हैं कि अपना एम्प्लॉय कितनी बार वॉशरूम जा रहा है. दैट
बिल्कुल ठीक है जी, बिल्कुल.
That is, they are not stopping on that. They are saying it hurt my production line. my machine stop, which cost is around 300 or 400,000 US dollar.
Hmm. Hmm. Excellent, ji. Excellent, sir. Come back to Mansi. I think we have a lot of time right now. 6:50, 10 more minutes to go. Oh, by the way, all the audience who are there, they can always ask any questions they want to through the Q&A chat at the bottom of the screen. You have a button on chat or question and answers. You can ask. We have a few that I had received before, which I would like to ask to the panel. Where do you think is the biggest opportunity for a printer in the coming couple of years? Should I ask Aaron if it is okay? Where will the biggest opportunity be for printers in the next couple of years? Any specific idea on that, sir? You are muted, I think. You are muted, I think.
Sorry, yes. Thank you for that question, Jacob. See, opportunities would arise definitely when it comes to kind of adding efficiency in their production processes, be it through automation, workforce planning, so on and so forth. Another opportunity I would say is to kind of, be a leader when it comes to regulatory change and make kind of adjustments well in time. Now, back to your initial point of kind of LED, you were mentioning about LED curing right now.
Yeah.
One of the big points I mentioned in our pre-run was that certain types of LED inks that use photo initiators are actually becoming illegal in Europe, right? Because of concerns around cancer and so on and so forth. Now, when these kind of regulations come out in a place like Europe, soon they follow in other places, possibly not the US and North America. They're not very firm on health here, but apart from that, in other regions of the world, for sure, if you're doing export jobs to clients in Europe, you're going to have to invest in the technology beforehand, which allows you to cure with LED without photo initiators, right? So that is definitely an area to look into, right? We have very close working expertise with such systems, and I think that's a definite area to kind of explore. In terms of other opportunities, it just comes down to being very kind of sharp with our materials planning as well, right? In terms of automation, there are several opportunities: post-press, pre-press, and press, materials handling, materials kind of optimization is a big area to look at. So I'd say in general, Jacob, these are the areas, but the key point would be just kind of be a leader as far as regulatory change is concerned. Don't be in a position where you're sitting, it has happened, and now you don't know what to do, right? So yeah, that's the basic.
What about you, Huma? What investment mistake should a printer avoid? What investment mistakes should a printer avoid? You have been investing so much, Huma. So would you be able to take this question?
Yeah, I think the biggest investment mistake you should avoid is not looking at the service support and the spare part support and the knowledge support which the equipment manufacturer gives you. You might get the best of the equipment, but at some point of time it is going to need parts, it's going to need service, and it's going to need breakdown calls. And you just don't want the machine to be waiting days and days to come back up when you spend like months behind a customer, you get it, and then the machine is not working. So I think that's the biggest thing you need to take care.
Mansi, what do you think is the investment mistake that a printer should avoid in the digital arena? Because in digital, if you buy a new machine within 2 years, if you don't get the ROI, then I think you sell it even by weight, nobody will take it, right?
Yes.
So so what is your take on it? Investment mistakes.
I think I have a little different take on this, and I'm kind of building on what Huma has been talking about, which is underinvesting in people while over investing in in equipment.
Machines.
See, like you said, a press depreciates from day one, but a trained and a capable team only appreciates. Most print shops, and I'm talking of the unorganized side of print, at least in India. Most print shops have no training budget, no structured onboarding, no knowledge transfer systems, right? When a key operator leaves, everything that they knew walks out with them. That's a risk that does not show up in the balance sheet unless it does. Now, sure, invest in tech and invest in machinery, but also invest in systems and people first and alongside, not like an afterthought. I think while there is AI, there's new tech, ignoring this would be a mistake.
Excellent, excellent. That's a excellent take. I agree, and it is good to see that all the panelists are gelling together with each other in terms of ideas. Sachin ji, again coming back to you, sir. ये जो छोटे प्रिंटर बड़े प्रिंटर का है ना चक्कर, जो can small printers compete with large competitors? I mean, एक 10 करोड़ वाला 125 करोड़ वाले से क्या कोई टक्कर ले सकता है? आप जरा इस बारे में थोड़ा रोशनी डालें सर.
Time is only for big fish.
Oh, is it? So time is only for humankind, eh?
Yeah, but the opportunity is this. Choice is up to you. You become a big fish, or you become a food of the big fish.
Oh, really? Okay. So basically, what you are telling is the big fish will eat the small fish. That's what?
Then only they can become bigger. No?
Okay. Huma ji, आपका इसके बारे में कोई टिप्पणी?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is very simple. I mean, the bigger the organization gets, the less flexible they are. So if I am fighting someone smaller than me, I need to remember this and that this is my limitation. But at the same time, when I'm fighting someone bigger than me, I also need to remember this is my biggest asset. I am more flexible. I can give decisions faster. I can move faster. So, it all depends where you are. You are seeing from the top or the bottom. So wherever you are in the chain, you always have an upside and a downside.
Let me ask you straight. Do you consider to be a big printer or a small printer?
Sure, definitely small. Where I am competing, and I mean in my customers, I am among the smallest. So definitely, and this is what I have been using. I have been using my flexibility compared to them. So, yeah, when the setup is smaller, to get the change is much faster. When the setup is bigger, it's very difficult to get the change and everything inculcated into the whole culture. Smaller units are more flexible. We can move very fast. So I think that's the answer.
Yes, I agree, and I appreciate your approach. If you see at the questions that the audience is asking for, so the first one is from one Harsh Bhardwaj. He's asking if everything is available in the market, capacity, system, processes, what becomes moat for the two printers at the same level then? Pricing? If yes, then we are at the same zone of crushing our margins for next best orders. Your take, Aaron, would it make sense to answer?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it really comes down to how your end customers' perception is changing, right? If you're looking at the market right now, like who's buying stuff, right? People that are going out there that are buying things are now becoming increasingly aware on things like sustainability, right? What am I buying? Is it sustainable? Is the packaging that it was made in sustainable? Right, I think sustainability in building sustainability into your production processes and proving it to your customer, who can then prove to the end customer, is a very defensible mode. So definitely look at sourcing. Look at where your things are coming from. Everything you do, everything you create has a story. You have to make sure that story passes from you to your client, from your client to the end customer. It's going to win you deals. It's going to help you preserve your business, and it's going to help you do good for the planet too. So. Yeah, I would definitely say that's one very defensible moat. And of course, bringing it back to what my peers here, Huma and Mansi, have said, having a solid team that's really invested. I spend a lot of my time leadership building within Newstech, right? So I keep telling everybody, if you want to be a good leader, your main job is to build more leaders, right? Create critical thinking, create the ability, create that investment in the company, make them feel like it's theirs, Don't make them feel like you're some boss sitting on a chair somewhere in the world giving them orders, right? That's never going to work. You have to make them feel invested from the ground level up. They have to beat with the heartbeat of your firm. And that, in the sense, becomes your best mode. Your people, their expertise, and how far they're willing to go to push you to greatness.
Okay. Huma, I'm coming up with the same question that Harsh Bhardwaj has asked. Ultimately, if the capacity system and processes are similar for everybody, pricing is what will make the work done, the business go forward. What's your take?
Sir, it is also your expertise. It is also how you are willing to help your customers. I mean, look at it as that there is a new startup who does not understand packaging. They have a fantastic product, let's say into a cosmetic industry. They have a fantastic product. They don't know how to do that product. Use your expertise, build them a good product, and if the product works, you work. That's your moat.
That's your moat. Yeah, you're right. I hope the question has been answered, Harsh Bhardwaj. Thank you. And somebody has asked, Shreyank Kangutkar, what has been your highest ROI investment in the last 2 years? Whom have you asked this? If you could write it, we could address it to him. Coming to the fourth question, the way market dynamics are changing every day with AI tech enhancement, where do we think as a printer or a marketing partner, what are some new avenues which we can consider, where we can get some first mover advantage, maybe in the form of some smart packaging or functional packaging or something which can add a wow factor to the customer experience. Oh, this is from Mohit Kamal. Oh, good to listen to you. I think our friend Mansi can take it up. Can you, Mansi?
Yes. So I know the question is directed at asking specifically around packaging, but I can answer from a print perspective. I think one of the things that stands out, at least in our offerings, is that after a point, like you said, everybody is selling great print at a certain price. What is it extra that I bring to the table? So one of the things that we have always been doing, but obviously talk about it more now, is that apart from offering print as a service, we also offer certain application-based solutions which take care of how, for example, print ordering or print logistics handling is taken care of at a customer's end, so that it is not just print that they are paying for. It is taking care of maybe how their files are handled, maybe how their data compliance is taken care of, maybe how print is ordering is taken care of for 20,000 people across their organization. Now that takes away a certain cost at their end and is a differentiator for me to offer above and beyond print. Also, I've started to see there is a certain receptibility that has come in to accept personalization and to be wanting to pay an extra price for the value that it creates. So those are the two that I think stand out in the print business. And definitely, how you create relationships, how you take care of those relationships. I wanted to add another thing while we were talking of chota printer, bada printer, all of that, is what I think large converters cannot do easily, and I consider myself a small printer in that category, is move fast on smaller orders, serve niche verticals with a certain kind of precision, offer personalization at low quantities, build intimate and responsive client relationships. Those are structural advantages of being small, and the question is if you've built the capability to monetize those, I would say. So those are cherries on top that I think would help.
Excellent answer. Now I think I have one last question for all of you. I think one after the other, starting from Sachin, then Huma, then Aaron, and then in the end the lady Mansi could answer. What skills will the next generation printer need? क्या skills printer को सबसे ज़्यादा चाहिए होगा survive करने को, thrive करने को? सचिन जी से शुरू करें अपन. Sachin, can you hear me? Mute है sir.
Yeah, sir. First, understand the customer requirement, because because my point was, I'm taking my words back. The fish wala example, yeah, yes. A small printer.
Nothing to take back. Nothing to take back.
So my point was not that level. But yes, understanding the customer requirement, what type of customer you are catering. If you understand his requirement and accordingly you play and you give the delivery of service or product delivery, then only you can survive.
तो बेसिकली आप ये बोलना चाहते हो कि you need to have the skill to understand your customer's actual need and provide him with the solution which he can afford to accept. That's the skill that one needs, right?
Yes.
क्या
Instead
बात है,
of
बहुत
product
अच्छा.
supplier, solution provider, you should be there.
ठीक है जी, ठीक है. Instead of a production supplier, you should be a solution
Product
provider.
supplier. Solution.
Product supplier. ठीक है, ठीक है. हाँ जी, the next in line, Mr. Aaron, what do you think is the skill which the next generation printer needs to survive and thrive?
It's a very good question. I mean, definitely the mind automatically goes to how to kind of balance your own output out with technology, how to optimize technology in your output. But I wouldn't say that. Really, the skill we need is just to learn to understand people, develop a sense of empathy, right? There's something we're missing in this world, in business, on the shop floor, in the office. It's a real sense of understanding each other. Sometimes we're so busy, we just don't care, we have no time. Unless we build that sense of really understanding what it is to be a team on the shop floor, understand each other, right? That's when we can progress our company, our role, and we become motivated to even want to learn more to service the company further. So yes, while I would like to say, oh yeah, very important is AI, I'll say no, very important is human beings. Learn humans.
Excellent, excellent. Huma, what's your take on this? The skills.
I think the biggest skill you need to do is to forget whatever you have learned so far, because the way the world is changing, the way AI is coming in and disrupting a lot of industries, the way social media is disrupting everything. I mean, today earlier it was practically impossible to build a cosmetic brand. Just look at the number of brands today. You have come up with hardly, without the kind of a financial might of the bigger players, and they are doing extremely well. So I think you will need to learn, you will need to adapt, you will need to unlearn a lot of things and learn a lot of new things. I think the more you can change, the more I think you will be able to sustain. Otherwise, it's going to be tough.
So the change is the only constant. That's what you mean to say?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the way you used to treat your people and the way you treat Gen Z, they are completely different.
Yeah.
What I did when I joined and how I do today, I mean, Gen Z is a different lot.
You're right, sir. I agree with you completely. Okay, Mansi, the youngest and the brightest, please go ahead.
I think there are a lot of right answers to this. I could talk about systems thinking and data literacy and understanding people and everything else that, the panel has said already. But I think agility now is not a personality trait, it's a practice, because the moment you think you have it figured out, okay, now I know how to operate, AI workflows, technology shifts, and then customer expectations move, and maybe a new regulation arrives. But I think the businesses that will survive are the ones who have people inside them asking that, like Huma said, what do we need to learn next, and what is it that we need to change? And it's kind of has got to be second nature. You can't think that, oh, we know it all. So yeah, that's what I think is really required in times to come.
Good enough. Wonderful. I think we have exhausted with the questions. Huma, there is an answer from one Mr. Raja who has answered to your query in the Q&A. Could you please deal with him because I am unable to actually understand what he intends to ask you. Anyway, having said that, if any of the audience needs any further clarification of anything that we have talked about, you are free to write to us. We are always at your service. All of our speakers are available for your queries at any time. I can coordinate with you. You can directly be in touch with them, whatever way you feel convenient and comfortable. We are okay. If you have anything to know about any of the comments or the offers or the solutions, will be with you. We'll be glad to share. The recording of this is also available. If you want, you can always write to us. Immediately after this webinar finishes, you will be getting email and you will get our email IDs and things like that. You can always write to us, reply to it and ask for the video. A video takes an hour or so for it to be uploaded, and once it is done, I will send you the links. I would also like you to let me know, whenever time permits, any specific topic on which you wish to hear about, learn about, so that we can have another webinar, interactive one, not just lectures, but tit-tat, both in English and English, which we did very well. And I think it's a very good thing to do. I would also like specifically to have people who can speak regional languages like Tamil, Malayalam, and Bengali and Gujarati, Kemche, because then only the whole thing will set into a ball roll, you know what I mean? And I'm talking to a few people to get that into the system as well. Anyhow, thank you very much, all the speakers, for your time, your efforts, and the number of times I have asked you to join in for the pre-run and stuff. Thank you so much, and have a nice day, years ahead. Bye-bye and goodbye.
Thank
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.